I can, for example, do one thing I didn't do yesterday, is to configure a dynamic area. We saw how to make a static spawn points in a building or not in a building, but we didn't saw how to configure a dynamic area. So I can do a nice one here, I think. Let's say it will be average town. It is not a small town, but it's not a big town too. So I think an average town is good for here. And the dynamic area needs to use Isovive or another map like this, or maybe this map, but it's not easy to use, because we have to zoom really hard, and to get the coordinate we have to teleport the player, then go to the player management to see the coordinate extra. I hear oh, it's helicopter crash. Okay, why not this one? Okay, so in Isovive here we are in this town. The first things to do is to see the how to say the size of the area. So I think, let's see in what is this building? It's more industrial here. Industrial or farmer? Maybe a little bit industrial, I think. So I will make a static spawn point here and here for the town dynamic area. So for the area we need to define the zone. I think a zone like this, it will be okay. It is always a rectangle, and if we have a corner here, 500 meters large, it's okay. 600, yes, it's good. So I think, and so to do that we have to open the server profile. We don't need all this. Oops. The static spawn zones, and we have to set the up left corner, the lower right corner, so this corner here and this corner here, and it will to define the rectangle. We can ignore, or it depends, we can ignore, let's see if words worth. All is about choices. If I include these buildings in the area, we will have zombies, town zombies spawning in the forest. So it's a matter of choice. So for this example, if I include, we will have zombies spawning here too. I will not include, I will start here. So to set the values here, the first number is the type of zombies, the num config of zombies. I will explain you after that how to configure this part. I know the average town are number 20 config, so I can set it. And the up left corner, I just watch. You see the coordinate here. So the left corner, we have 6, 6, 7, and 1, 3, 3, 3, 4, and then the school. I will populate with static spawn point the school, and the other, let's say here. Here maybe we will have zombies spawning in the land, but I only can set rectangle shapes, so it's how it works, sadly. In some circumstance, we can make multiple boxes, but each box have to be not too small. At least 200, 300. It's better. Between 2 and 300 meters large. And so the second point, the lower right point, let's say here, then 7, 9, and 12, 6, 4, 4. And it's done. Now we just have to reach down. Its name Castel Bunny. Okay, and it's done. A thing I always do is systematically verify the coordinate I just set, because it's easy to make mistake, to hit the wrong key, and to have a point far away, and it can't break things, because if this point I make a mistake and is here, all these area will be considered this line. So always verify. So this number is a quantity ratio applied, a percentage applied to quantity of zombies spawn each for each group. We'll see how it works. And the total number of zombies for average town, an average town like this, I would say 25, something like that. So it should be okay. It's this number avoid infinite waves, because it includes the dead bodies. So if you kill 25 zombies, no more will spawn in the area, and they will spawn again when the dead body will despawn, simply. So it is to avoid spawning more and more and more and more zombie again and again, and have infinite waves. What I can show you is the dynamic spawn data. I said you numconfig. This numconfig here correspond to this number, so this line will be used, and this is the configuration for all average town dynamic spawning. So it works like this: between 10 and 15 seconds, every 10 or 15 seconds, a random number choose, between 3 and 7 zombie will spawn at 100 meters in a radius of 5 meters, and the lateral shift is to not spawn exactly in face of the player, but it can be shift for 30 meters in the right or in the left. And the num choose zombie, it corresponds to what we saw yesterday in the static spawn data. There was a num choose z configuration, and it points to the same thing. So we have, if we come back here, if I walk a little bit, I have 0 zombie, you see, 1 player, and now you see, yes, 1 zombie spawned. It is because, this option, is this option. The dynamic spawn system have a focus feature which allow to focus a player or not, and if there is 50% chance for a player to be focused by the dynamic system, and if the player is not focused, it will only spawn 1 zombie each time it should spawn a group of zombies. So that's why only 1 zombie have spawned instead of between 3 and 7 we saw. 3 and 7, yes, should be 3 and 7, and we saw only 1 zombie had spawned because the player was not focused. The modification have to be done in the json, so 59. It's better for test to set it to 100. The objective of this feature is to bring more diversity to the game experience, for player to not be always focused, to not have always a lot of zombies, but sometimes he have a lot of zombies, sometimes he have just a few zombies. More diversity, more fun. And now I saved. See, one spawn here, and the next one should be, you see, add 7 zombies, and we see the number 1 and the brackets are because it is the number 1 zone, and we saw 9, I think 9 to 25. 25 is the maximum, and 9 is the total actual zombie number, or 12. And if we this time I have activated good mode. I'm sure. This time I'm sure. So you see they are all here. So it works. No problem. It works, it works. Just to see, is the butcher? I don't see the butcher. Come closer, boy. Butcher is not here. You see 22 to 25. It means there is 22 zombies in the area, and the maximum is 25. And when the maximum is reached, no more zombie will spawn. I will. Well, we'll see later why there is not the butcher. Okay, that's how it works. Main features. So, to choose the zombies, it's a little bit tricky. I have to concede. It allows, as all my mods, it allows a lot of things, but it's not necessarily very easy to get. So we have dynamic spawn zone, static spawn data, and dynamic spawn data. Donc static spawn data, you have the column choose Z configuration, correspond to this number, and the dynamic zone itself, you have a num config which correspond to, in dynamic data, this num config. So 20, if I set 20 here, it means I will use this line, this 20 here, so this line of these values, and in this line we have the last one here, which is 20. The same value, but it can be different. I don't know if all are the same, but I can if this, for example, if I want to use this configuration and I want to spawn average zombies, the same types of zombie as average, or if I want, there is no medical. No, not here. I can spawn average with a different configuration, and this column for dynamic data and this column for static configuration will point in zombie categories, in choose categories. Choose categories, and it will point to this line. the line 20 because it's set to 20. 20, this to 20 lead to this line, and in this line the num-config category is 20, so it points to this line. You will note that some lines have the description. We don't care. We don't care about the description. I regret to have named the variable like this, but it's a little bit too late, and if I change its mean, all admins will have to change, and the server will not start, and nobody wants it. I think so. I keep these names, but the important thing is the number. So 20, if I choose zombie configuration 20, it means this line will be used. And this line, the important part is all of this. This line means each zombie will be randomly chosen between 3 lists. This list, and empty. It means it only uses this 2 lists, and these lists are in zombie categories. If I search, for example, this one here, we have all class name of the zombies that can be spawned in this configuration. A same zombie can be in this list and in other list. For example, this one, if I search this one, it is 4 times in these files, so in 4 lists. So yes. So okay, so these 2 lists will be used, and because this is 2 lists, and the number allows to choose how much from this list and how much on this list. For example, here 90 here means there is 90% chance to use a random zombie from this list, and the 10% chance to spawn a random zombie from this list. And when there is, for example, for here we have 3 possible lists, and this means 85% chance to spawn a zombie from this list, and then 5%, we have to make the difference, 5% from this list, and the last 10% from this list. If you can find an example, it's not easy to I know it's not, it's a little bit tricky to understand, especially when you don't use it very often. But it's how it works, and I try to make an example to show you how it works. For example, 80%, so 80% from the first category here, so this column, and then 50% the difference between this 15% from this list and the last 5% from the last list. And that's it. So the important thing to understand is that this number, the num-config zombie here and for the static one here, point to the category that choose between 1, 2 or 3 lists. You see a firefighter, there is only one list, so you have a 100% chance to spawn in this list. And if you for example set it to 90% to spawn here, and so they left 10% an empty list, the thing is that empty list here, there is no zombie. So if the random number choose a zombie from this list, it will not spawn zombie, just that. So if you have just one list, oops. Okay. One more little thing. I think it's which is not used by many people, many admin, and that can make the difference. It's the night zombies. I think it's not used on many servers because it is disabled by default. You see, activate is set to 0, and this file allows you to make spawn different zombies at daytime or at night time. And it works by replacing, for example, if the system, when it choose the zombies here, it choose the forest low, and in the forest low it choose these zombies, for example. And if it is night time and the system is activated, if I activated it, and it will look in this file, and when it will replace, for example, it will replace these zombies by these zombies. It will, in this case, it will not make a difference because all are the same. Daytime, nighttime the same. Daytime, nighttime the same. Daytime, nighttime the same. All are the same. So if you want special things, you have to configure yourself. But for example, if instead of hermit page, I don't know how to pronounce that, I want skateboard brown, I can set skater young brown here, and when it is night time, each time it is night time, when the system will try to spawn this hermit, it will spawn this skater young brown. Thank you, Bolse Eyes. Great, nice to see you appreciate. And so I think it can be funny, especially for server that runs custom zombies like Stalkers 1, or there is some interesting one, and I prepare a little. It is a little bit. I prepare a little video for Halloween that is should be a little bit creepy. But I don't say more. I don't say more. So if you want a different configuration for day and night, it is possible, and you can change the ratio. For example, if I change this here and I make 10, each time the system will try to spawn one hermit skinny, this one, it will spawn 10 scatter like this. So you can make really different configuration with that. I set it back. This a word about that, because it is an option where you will find in my other PvZmoD. It is the possibility to override the vanilla nighttime, because you have to know, maybe you already noticed, the vanilla system consider it is night as soon as the sun is below the horizon. But the thing is, even if the sun is below the horizon, the light is still bright. So, for example, I want to see clearly. You see, the sun is here, so no problem. It is the time. Here it is the time. Here still daytime. But here it is nighttime. The system consider it is nighttime. But in my opinion, we'll still see the system consider it is nighttime. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too bright to be considered as nighttime. If you feel the same with my system, you are able to change, to force to change the night begins, and the night end hours. It will not change the how to say, the time speed. You know, the vanilla system can have different time speed between the day and the night. This system will not change that. It only change but the transition between if I spawn a day zombie or night zombie. Same thing for the dark or horde. You know, there is a day dark horde configuration and a night dark horde configuration. It just change the transition when the transition occurs. And for the customizable zombie, you for those using this mod too, you know, you always can set different values for day and night, and it change all the customizable zombie consider if you are at day or night time. So that's the the objective of this feature disabled by default, because I don't know, the hours depend of the date. You probably know that, because if we are in September, if I in the summer, you see, you you know that, I suppose. So that's why I wanted to show you this file. I look. We can talk a little bit about loot. Whether there is no. That's why the butcher is not here. I forgot to change that. Because this is. So this one. It should be this file. You can change the container for using for loot chest, and the item using for the safe zone. The safe zone prevents zombie to spawn, but it doesn't delete already spawned zombies. It is not like safe zone of the traders. I know the safe zones of the traders delete zombies, but it is too much resource consuming. The way it works, it's too much resource consuming. It's okay for 2 or 3 traders, but the safe zone object, we can have 10, 20, 30, 50 barrel holes. So at this point, it can be resource consuming for the server. And I choose this item because it doesn't spawn like this in the economy. Player have to craft them, and it's not easy to craft, so they can't put barrel holes everywhere. They usually keep it for their base, so it's good, but it can be replaced as you want. Just have to have a collider. Propose you to talk a little bit about zombie loot. Zombie loot, what you have to know, to keep in mind in this file, is that when a zombie spawn, the system will check if the zombie is in this list, in one of the list, and it will proceed in the order of the number. So 1 first, 2, 3, etc., etc., etc. And if you do cut and copy the 3 before the 1, it will not work. It will still check the 1 first, the 2 after, then the 3, then the 4, etc., etc. It's important to note, because, for example, I know the NBC zombies inherit from this or this. not remember, one of this class. So it's a little bit weird, I have to say, because the yellow inherit from this one and the gray inherit from, if I'm not wrong, military, this one, I think. Why not? Why not? don't don't ask me for that. I don't know why. But the thing is, so the NBC have to be before the paramedic. If not, the system will. If not, when I spawn NBC zombie, the system will check. It will find it's a paramedic kind of zombies. I use this configuration. And if the system don't find any the zombie in any list, it will use the number 001, the other. And that's the important things to keep it in mind. The other thing, yes, another thing. You see there is 4 lists: item list, vest list, back list, gear list. They all works the same way. The vest list can be used to spawn any item you want. It is not limited to the vest. I should name this list list A, list B, list C, and list D, but I didn't. I regret, but it is the same thing than here. No, not than here. Than yes, here. Yes, here. When I said don't care about the name, just look at the number. We don't care about the name. Same thing here. Don't care about the name. It is just the number which is important. Don't worry, the hat will automatically, the first hat you try to spawn in the inventory will automatically go on the head of the zombie. So don't worry. So it is 4 lists that are used exactly the same way. It is just a matter of priority. This list is load first, this list, then this list, then this list. And you see the chance to spawn, and if we want to spawn several items, we can, for example, do we have one means it always spawn one of the item. 10 it will spawn 10 item choose in this list. We can sell all. It will spawn all items. We can choose another new, not very new, but it was not stacked. It is interesting to spawn things like ammo or money for the trader. it will stack the quantity instead of I have a multiple I don't know for the money, the coins, not coins, for you know. So I think that's all, and you can look at the description. You have you always have some information. So I think on this mod I made I didn't go in details because not okay, and in the JSON there is some other features, but I don't want to be too lot of information. You can note it's here in the JSON: all helicopter crash, zombie on bonfires, in toxic zone, in dynamic toxic zone, and in where they are the butchers and the priest are managed in the JSON. So priest, butchers, helicopter crash, bonfires, toxic zone, dynamic toxic zone, dynamic events, to be clear, dynamic events, and butchers and priest are managed here.